You ever noticed how some politicians not actually want answers? They want a claim, not evidence, not precision, a claim. And they stack a bunch of scare words together until the room feels like it has to be true. Because that's what this is, a made-for-TV acquisition machine designed to make you angry first and think later. All right, what's the build? What's the wording? Watch how the trap gets set.
And U.S.-funded scientists keeping secret should be publicly questioned under oath about what they knew and when they knew it. But U.S.-funded scientists somehow are still protected from being questioned publicly, even though they received millions of taxpayer dollars. If they aren't our screw-ups here.
Stop right there. This is the first tab. Keeping secrets, protected, questioned under oath. That sounds like accountability, right? It sounds right here. But notice what's missing. Specifics, but secrets. Who, but document, but at. It's a vibe. It's a vibe-shaped indictment. And the reason this start there is obvious. Once there's planted secret sentence in your head, every next sentence feels like confirmation. Now listen, this is where they crank it.
In the U.S., why would the U.S. government cover up for the CCP and other countries? Americans would have been angry to learn in early 2020 that their government may have played a role in COVID-19's creation. Would you say such thinking influenced the intelligence community to suppress a lab leak origin theory?
I would say that there's evidence in the emails.
There it is, the outer's madam, conspiracy theorist, censored, filed. It's weird to look one thing, make you emotionally commit before any proof shows up. Because once you're mad, just stop demanding receipts. You start demanding a villain. And let me be crystal clear. If you're going to talk about first page, misinformation, moderation, whatever, fine. But this is Congress. If you're going to drop people were fired, you better be ready to show what happened and why. Instead, we get the performance. Trust me, it wasn't bad. Now, watch how they try to launder certainty through the budget.
That it was part of the calculus.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Really appreciate you being here today. I know that this has been a topic for many of us for many years, and we continue to get pushback from the federal government as we're trying to uncover the truth to this matter.
This is the classic move, the acronym DRUM. NIS, DHS, DOE, DOD. And the crowd is supposed to go, oh my God, it's everywhere. So it must be a plot. No, that's not how evidence balls. Listing agencies isn't proof of misconduct. It's just volume. It's meant to overwhelm you into agreement. And I'm not saying transparency doesn't matter. It does. But this isn't transparency. This is, I said a bunch of official sounding ones. Now, clap. Keep going. Because the escalation is coming. And it gets uglier.
For years, folks who discussed a possible COVID lab origin were dismissed as conspiracy theorists. They were censored. Some were even fired from their jobs. If there was or is a conspiracy, then U.S. government officials and U.S.-funded...
Did you cast it? This light from questions into cover up like it's already established. That's the game. Start with, we just want answers, then casually treat the conclusion as the starting point. And then, because this is politics, they wrap themselves in brave witness language to make disagreement look like corruption. If you push back, you are protecting secrets. If you ask for specifics, you are covering up. Now, was this a congratulatory detour? Because it matters. It tells you what this is really for.
Scientists keeping secret should be publicly questioned under oath about what they knew and when they knew it. But U.S.-funded scientists somehow are still protected from being questioned publicly, even though they received millions of taxpayer dollars from NIH, DHS, DOE, and DOD. And look, folks, I've long warned about a potential government cover-up of the truth, which our brave witness, again, thank you, Mr. Erdman, has confirmed to us today. I've called for answers from Dr. Ralph Barrick, and
Okay, now we are in campaign at territory. I won. I exposed. I scored. I won. This is not a careful fact-finding sequence. This is a highlight reel with congressional stationery. And notice how the story is being still. Early warning gets treated like proof of wrongdoing. Funding gets treated like guilt. And nothing was done gets treated like intent. But here's the thing. Grown-up oversight isn't a montage. If you're alleged failures, you lay out the chain. Who knew what? What policy was in place? What decision was made? What should have happened instead? They don't do that here. They skip right to tomorrow's theater. And now comes the pick 9, the one mean for cable news Hiron. Listen for it.
expert virologist who showed the intelligence community in January 2020, before the American people knew about the pandemic, that, quote, "We may be on the verge of a global pandemic," end quote. Yet nothing was done to share this information with the American people. I exposed that the Wuhan lab received $1.4 million in federal funds, fought to cut off every single cent flowing to that lab, and I won on this for the taxpayers. And I haven't backed down from fighting for more information on the true COVID origins. And yet Congress is still here, 6 years later, begging agencies to share answers and for committees to make relevant documents public. We are tired of Washington cover-ups.
There's the applause 9. We are tired of Washington cover-ups. Everybody is tired of Washington nonsense. Congratulations. But tired isn't evidence. Anger isn't the document. A why isn't a finding. This is how public trust gets destroyed. You teach people that the loudest accusation is the same thing as proof. And that doesn't lead to accountability. It leads to permanent suspicion where nothing is real and everyone is corrupt. And then they go for the international villain button. Watch.
And if they aren't our screw-ups here in the U.S., why would the U.S. government cover up for the CCP and other countries? So, Mr. Erdman, Americans would have been angry.
Oh, come on. Cover up for the CCP. That's not oversight. That's a bumper sticker. It's designed to make the audience feel like there are only two options. Either the US government is criminally hiding something or your name. And it's a trap because it forces every answer into partisan frame. Agree and you validate the conspiracy flavored narrative. Disagree and deplant you as protecting China. This is exactly how authoritarian style politics works. It turns complicated reality into loyalty theater. Now, here's the moment they built all of this for. The said on record question. Listen closely.
To learn in early 2020 that their government may have played a role in COVID-19's creation. Would you say such thinking influenced the intelligence community to suppress a lab leak origin theory?
There it is. Not what did the evidence show, not what was the process. It's admit they suppressed it because they were scared. That's motive attribution set up as a yes or no. And it's crafted to do two things at once. 1. Imply US culpability without probing it. 2. Imply a coordinated cover-up without having to demonstrate coordination. This is why you can't let these people set the emotional rules of the room. Because once you accept their frame, this fact don't matter anymore. Only the storyline does. Now, what's the witness? There is a difference between a propagandist and someone trying to stay anchored to what can actually be supported.
I would say that there's evidence in the emails that it was part of the calculus. I wouldn't say, so it's.
And that right there is the whole clip. He doesn't give them the sipping Yes, they suppressed it Mormon, the bird hunting. Take yes, a narrow concession. Evidence in the emails, part of the calculus. And you can hear the brakes squealing. Because serious people talk like this when the facts are messing. Careful, bounded, specific. They don't turn a question into a birthday just to satisfy a senator's narrative. And his blood drives me insane. The moment he said emails, the outrage machine is going to run wild with it. They're going to pretend he confirmed the entire conspiracy men. No, he confirmed something much less cinematic. That messaging and perception may have factored into how things were handled, according to some emails. That's it. That's what he actually said. But the Senator's monologue was built so that any fraction of agreement becomes a full gallon of propaganda. And this is why democratic accountability matters, real accountability. Because if you let the chat threads replace evidence, you don't get through. You get fraudulent distrust. And the people cashing in on that distrust never, ever have to prove anything. If you want answers about COVID origins, you demand documents, processes, decisions, actual specifics. You don't toss specific cover up into the air, vect infecting, and call it oversight. What you just was is a politician trying to manufacture certainty by stacking grievances, dumping acronyms, and forcing a witness into a motive story. And thank God the witness then fully take debate. Because the grown-up mode in a democracy is to stay inside, but you can support. Not but gets the best clip. That's the 9. That's the 5. Evidence over insinuation. Accountability, what performance? Democracy over outrage theater.